Basketball fans, welcome back. So, Ali Tripoli versus Al Ittihad. So, this matchup was very interesting because it featured two of the unbeaten teams in the conference game. So, we had Al Ittihad doing the demolition job in the Kalari conference. Then we had the Al Ali Tripoli doing the demolition job in the Nile conference. So, they were meeting. So, this was a North African derby. So, Al Ali Tripoli coming from Libya and Al Ittihad coming from Egypt. So this was bound to be one of the great best matchups in there. So to determine who is the true number one and number two seed. So prior to this matchup, we saw in the rankings, Al Tripoli had the better point differential as opposed to Al Ittihad. But if you look at the actual game, you'll see that Al Ittihad, they did some few changes into their roster. Lualol Aushil, he came into the mix for Al Ittihad, strengthening their front court. And they looked a much more uh, difficult team to beat. And considering the fact that Lual Aushil, he was the former defensive player of the year for BAL season 4 and he won the MVP. So Alitia just got significantly better. And looking at the Al Tripoli, they were trying to replicate the same game plan that they had. I know they didn't have a lot of rest because the Nile conference was the last conference to tip off. So Al Ittihad had some significant time to go ahead and just get them fresh legs, relax. So they were able to come in and dominate in this game. So this game, the total attendance was 3,124, and Al Ittihad proved to be the true number one seed, going up 7-0, and they have yet to take a loss. And looking at their trajectory right now, they need to win every single game to be able to win the championship if they want to keep their championship hope alive. And Al Tripoli, even despite this loss, they are also in trajectory of even making it to the finals. And this is a potential finals matchup because I don't think these two teams, this is the last time they're going to meet. Because if I look at it closely, given the type of brackets we have seen, because we have seen Creole Star versus FS Rabat play, and that outcome, we were able to see the two seventh and eighth seed. And in this outcome, we were able to see the true number one and number two seed. So Al Ittihad is going to match up against FS Rabat, of which I'm confident that Al Ittihad can get the job done. In Al Tripoli versus Creole Star, I'm not sure which type of outcome can come there, but I'm gonna give Al Tripoli the nod because they have the ability to go ahead and beat a Creole Star team. I mean, they're able to go through and whitewash the whole Nile conference easily, and it was not even a difficult thing to do. So putting away Creole Star, I don't think it's going to be that difficult. I know there's a looming upset there, but hey, I mean, Al Tripoli have all the tools to be able to get the job done. So yeah, I mean, this game was great, and the Al Tripoli and Al Ittihad matchup was one of those matchups that I was looking forward to because I knew it's going to happen in the classification games, and it's a potential finals matchup. So Al Ittihad statistically, they dominated in every single statistical category when it came to scoring. So they led in field goal percentage with 50. On 2-point field goals, they are 60%. On 3-point field goals, they were 30%. I mean, this was a very crazy matchup because the defense was high, and both teams coming from North Africa, they're not able to get the easy looks from three because the Alitia team, they shot they attempted 23 3 pointers, but they only made seven. So this was crazy. And if you look at even Al Tripoli, 27 3 point attempts, and only four went in. So with a 14% clip. So this was crazy. So then when you look at even the free throw, going to the free throw line, both teams attempted 19 free throws apiece. And you could see the Alitia team able to sink in 14 free throws. So in the total rebounds, Alitia able to get that and the assist. But when it came to steals, Al Tripoli got that, and the blocks, we had 5 blocks coming in from Alitia. So Lual Al Shil, the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in BAL Season 4, was the difference maker, especially coming in for the Al Ittihad side. I know Anas Mahmoud did not have like the greatest game because the load was taken off by Majok Deng and Lual Al Shil. they did their thing in there. And Kyle Vinales was also the guy there because he had his moments, especially in the Kalari Conference games. He was great. And in this one, he had a quiet 12 points. Lualal Aushil, he had 16, and Majogden led in scoring with 19. Then looking at even on the flip side, if you look at the Al Tripoli, John Jackie's Boise had a very quiet game of 17 points. I don't think he had the same productivity or the same looks that he was getting in the Nile Conference games, because if you look at the matchups that um, the Al Tripoli had, the matchup against Nairobi City Thunder, MBB, and APR. So Nairobi City Thunder and MBB, that's where we saw the full effect of John Jackie's boys. Even coming off the bench, the man was able to average about 23, 24 points per game. So, and even some stretches, he was getting 28, 29 points. So, the looks that he used to get back then in the NL conference are not the same that he was able to get here, because the defense for Ittihad are not allowing it. So, this was great because you get to see how good a player is when they play opposition that can actually, take them and push them forward. So this game, there was a 10-point buffer in this game, and Al Ahly Tripoli were not able to cut the deficit at some point, and Al Ittihad kept piling on the points, and you could see the difference in class, especially when it came to scoring and it came to like looking for the right shot. I know the three ball was not going in at the rate at which Al Ittihad wanted, but able to capitalize on that with a very good shot selection at 2-point field goal. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So, Fabian Christopher White Jr. for Al Tripoli had a game high 24 points. John Jackie's Boise 17, and Nassim Badrush with 16. So, Fabian Christopher White Jr., he had a double of his own of 24 points, not only leading in scoring, but also leading in total rebounds. And he had 10 rebounds in there. John Jackie's Boys, he only had 3 assists. Nassim Badrich, 3. Mohamed Sadi with only 2. So Mohamed Sadi had a quiet game in this one. I mean, he only had 5 rebounds, 2 assists in there when he came to the other. But if you look at even the other statistics, you could see, the Al Tripoli's offense was being curtailed easily, and they were not getting the quick looks that they used to get, and the plays that they were implementing in the Nile Conference are similarly being exposed. And Al Ittihad are not like that team that they can just walk over like that, because Al Tripoli, they were able to walk over the Nile Conference. I can say even Al Ittihad were able to walk over the whole Kalari Conference because they beat the River Hoopers. The Rivers Hoopers, they beat them twice. The FS Rabat team, they beat them twice, and the Stadi Malian team, they beat them twice. So Al Ittihad were able to, and they were able to go 6-0, and it looked like the Kalari Conference were weak. But if you look at even the Nile Conference, you can say that they're similar. They had like a similar. They were similar in a way. But if you look at the Sahara Conference, it was difficult. That's why I'm not confident with Al Ahly Tripoli's matchup against Creole Star, because Creole Star, they were able to uh, play in the most difficult conference in the conference games. I don't think there was any conference that was as balanced as the Sahara Conference. And Creole Star showed that they can be able to mix it up even in the top teams. So Al Ahly Tripoli got a bit of exposed, and I'm not holding my breath if Al Ahly Tripoli, lose this game, lose their matchup in the first round against Creole Star. But all I'm just saying is they didn't look the same. They didn't look as dominant, and they looked a bit average, because we had 5 DNPs in there, for Al Ahly Tripoli. And if you look at the whole roster for the Al Ittihad side, only 2 players didn't play, and the other players were able to get some minutes, and they're able to mix it up in there. So, you know, the coaching staff for Al Ahly Tripoli, man, they struggled in this one, because there was a 10-point buffer, and the way Al Ittihad started, when the way they started and the way they finished the game, they had the intention of winning this game and capturing the first seed. And the Al Ahly Tripoli, they struggled, especially with a poor start of 14 points in the first quarter. And ever since that, it was a hole that they tried to dig in. There was a hole that they tried to dig themselves out, because if you look at even the second quarter, you could see the Al Tripoli, even with a strong second quarter, still the deficit already set, and they couldn't be able to get out. So I was very concerned with that because this was the Al Tripoli are a team that they were used to playing when they are on top, and they used to playing when they had a lead, and they were put in unfamiliar territory when they played a game where they trailed. So one thing I've noticed is when a team is used to winning, especially when they're used to leading in games, and for the first time they fall back in games, they have like a 10, 12 point spread and they're not able to cut the deficit. They don't know how to play in that situation. And also you can even flip it. There are teams that don't even know how to play with a lead, and I can even give them my Nerub Thunder team. So an example is the Nerub Thunder. I know I'm gonna mention them because I mean they really disappointed me. But all I'm just saying is the Ittihad team are legit, and especially with the acquisition of Aushil, the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year for BAL Season 4. I don't think there's any doubts that this team can be able to do it. They cannot be able to go ahead and win it, and they are a favorite right now. So yeah, I mean the Ittihad side led in total rebounds, assists, bench points. They led in those stats. But if you look at even the Al Tripoli, they cover all their bases. They led in steals, points from turnovers, fast break points, second chance points. So it's not a team that you can just write off like that, because if you look at their wins and their winning records, you could see they dominated their conference games. But now the game is different right now in the playoffs, because every single game counts. And if you make a mistake in one game, you're out of contention completely. So I mean this is a tough one, and it makes it much more exciting to see who's the best team, who's the better team. And if Ittihad continue with this, they might be the first ever unbeaten team all through to win it all. So because Ittihad right now, it's all up and up right now. They can't afford to lose a single game. Even if they match up against the River Hoopers, Petro, APR, whichever team that comes in their way, they have to destroy them. Because the only game that, if they wanted to drop in seeding, they will have maybe tanked in this game and matched up against an inferior team. But looking at even how Ittihad play, I don't think tanking would be a good thing, because they didn't want to. Maybe they didn't want to meet up with a Creole Star, because Creole Star are just a different beast. So, and if Al Tripoli did not want to meet Creole Star, they had to beat Ittihad, but Ittihad won this matchup. So it is what it is. So I mean, I'm excited. I'm going to be talking about today's games as well, because we are going to be seeing crazy matchups as well, because I mean, anything can happen in the classification games. I mean, we're going to see the River Hoopers active today, Petro active today. They're, it's just going to be awesome, because we have seen Creole Star and Ittihad, but now we're going to see, Creole Star. We saw them; they won that game against FS Rabat. Ittihad won it, so we are seeing the 7 and 8 seed locked, first and second seed locked. And right now we're going to see the Petrodolanda versus APR, US Monster versus Rivers Hoopers. So I'm excited to see this, because I mean it's BAL. Anything can happen in the BAL postseason. And after this classification games, it's going to be one game knockout to see who's gonna make it to the BAL final. So it is what it is. So do drop me your comments down in the comment section what you think about this. I mean, I'm excited. While covering the NBA playoffs, I had to segue to talk about the BAL playoffs. So yeah, it is what it is. So like, share, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, get notified. I'm going to be dropping videos talking about the matchups that are going to follow. We're going to see the Petrodolanda versus APR matchup. We're going to talk about it as well. Your Monster versus Rivers Hoopers are going to talk about it as well. And yeah, it is what it is. So I'm out. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.